All right, this Hangouts is now live. Okay, so I'm gonna start. So you were asking about my character, who is Timothy Tips. Let me share screen. Okay. So basically, my backstory is I'm the heir to a famous tea company from my parents, Penelope and Gary, and they made the PG Tips Tea Company. And
Be right back, guys.
Yeah. He already knows this backstory though. So basically, when they first started out their company, my parents ran into a lot of financial troubles because it's not always easy starting, like tea company. So in exchange to have a successful tea company, my father decided to make a deal with the demon, forfeiting
As any prospective tea shop owner would do.
I know, right? When he's struggling to put food on the table and like having some money troubles with his company, and so he made this. He cut a deal where he would exchange the soul of his firstborn for the king of demons, Asmodeus. And so when Timothy, who finally reached adulthood, he learned of this like deal from a demon that came to him as a projection, and basically he was given two choices. Either because his soul was now owned by the demon lord Asmodeus, he was told either one, you can like go straight to hell basically because and work for Asmodeus there, or you can be a what would you call it, like a servant of Asmodeus on the mortal plane, and basically perform his will in some situations, right? Because he doesn't control every aspect of your life, but sometimes he'll ask you to do big tasks, and in exchange, Asmodeus will grant you powers, warlock powers, which is basically how most warlocks get their powers. They get it from some type of otherworldly deity. So in fear that I would be like dragged into hell, I decided to go with the second option, where I would get some magical demon powers and be sort of like a servant to Asmodeus. And my goal now is to keep doing as best I can so that I don't get thrown into hell, and then hopefully have my children able to take over the company without having their souls owned by a demon eventually, because I don't want the same thing that happened to me to happen to them. Yeah.
I have questions.
Yes.
Does Timothy, sorry, have any siblings?
Timothy does not have any siblings. His parents are not able to make it a second child.
And what's his favorite kind of tea?
His favorite kind of tea is Earl Grey.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And basically I decided to go to Barovia because it would help me discover new types of tea and hopefully make my tea company more profitable for future generations. And I also want to make sure you guys know that my patron is not an agent of chaos. He's definitely not chaotic, so everything's fine, right? I'll stay within the limits of the law.
Roll deceive check.
No. He's actually not chaotic. He's very lawful evil.
Seems trustworthy enough.
Yeah. This is out of character that I'm telling you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you guys? What are your go ahead. anyone have backstory stuff?
Everyone else muted.
Writing mine.
All right, let's start with Jason.
Sure. So, I am but a simple rock gnome barbarian. But basically, my guy grew up in a small village, and then he headed out when he reached gnome adulthood. And he's been kind of going town to town and making a name for himself, just like as an adventurer. So he's well known for his adventures and his boisterous personality. He fits in among people with ease. He has the feature rustic hospitality. Oh. And basically, he's like that guy that you hear, like, he's kind of like a celebrity among rock gnomes.
Oh, nice.
Like, most gnomes are very like into technology, but this is like the buff gnome. So it's like, oh, you're the buff gnome.
So he was basically the jock at the nerd school.
Exactly.
That makes sense. Look at all these nerds. Look at me being buff and stuff, hitting the gym.
Yeah.
What do you even lift, bro?
Yeah. So he's not terribly smart, unlike most gnomes, but he has enrolled in an organization called the Natural Science Alliance because he thought its cause was worthy. Its cause of investigating and preserving nature and wildlife, even though he doesn't do that much of the science himself. He's more of like the heavy lifting kind of guy when he gets called in on jobs for that.
Nice. What about you, Jenny? What is your...
Hi. So I should have really written more of this down because, like, literally all my backstory, my character sheet says is that I'm emo and swashbuckling. But anyway, so Elyse was originally a charity student at a bardic college. Like, insert rather cute, like, 10-year-old adventures involving bad instruments. And eventually she did graduate. So she ended up doing slightly shady musician stuff. So she had like a noble patron. She swashbuckled a bit, did some spying, played instruments, mostly the latter if you ask her. Actually, mostly the former if you ask her now. And eventually she did settle down. She actually ended up marrying a paladin, and she did like a lot more music at the courts there. Sort of tried her hand at composition for a bit, not very well. And then the emo backstory started. So her husband died hunting down a nobleman who'd made some deals with dark powers. So she ended up taking her vengeance in a very mysterious and unspecified way that nonetheless gives her an emo backstory. So one of the options for the haunted one background was that you could have done something so bad that it marked you forever, taking like vengeance for a loved one, and that is what she did. So she decided that she couldn't go back to like her kid after that, and that her daughter would be safer without her. So she was also like wanted by the law at the time. So she just faked her own death, ran off, and has just been like wandering around having adventures and having fun since.
I see. So she's a vengeful widow who abandoned her kid, I guess? Did she leave her kid with her sister? Or?
Oh, yeah. So said kid like ended up with like her husband's family. So that kid's like gone on to paladin school and it's probably like graduated by now. So yeah, kid.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah, that kid had a good life.
So then how old is your character?
So she's like a half elf, so
Oh, okay. So she
She's-
was able to have her life and still be in her like useful.
yeah. And like when I say the kid is an adult, I mean like he's 16. Or shit, I changed the kid's gender and this is being recorded. She's 16.
Okay. So she had a daughter. Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay,
That is canon now, and you can quote me on it when I forget it.
good. All right. Next, Scott's character. Scott, your character is Artesh, right? Yeah.
So yeah, I probably should have written mine down too, because there's literally nothing on my page. But my character started out as he was orphaned at a very young age because under the cover of darkness, my parents were killed, and I was taken to a monastery or a temple in which was raised by monks and was taught that the sun and light itself is the one true path to enlightenment.
Hooray, everyone's here.
Praise the sun. Oh, hi, Greg.
Greg is here.
Hello.
Praise the sun, maybe.
Hi, if we're recording, I didn't want to just like interrupt.
Oh, it's fine. Scott's just doing
Yeah, I'm
introduction.
just doing my small
Archer.
intro.
So praise the praise the sun.
Praise the sun, maybe. But anyway,
All right. You guys ready?
No,
Pretty
it's
humble.
all hail the sun. Not can't just enough with praising stuff. Just all hail.
Hail. Hail is an ice thing. We want praise. Anywho, my backstory is pretty simple. I was mostly raised at the temple and spent my time learning and researching about different rituals that would help me bring the power of the sun to the mortal plane. And now it is my time to venture into the world. And
In about 2 days, he'll actually be able to break that threshold to, manifest that sun
manifest light. I'm still learning how to properly channel the power of light, but I hope through my adventures that I will truly learn how to bring the power of the sun to the people.
That's cool.
power. Almost
And you're-
ready tomorrow.
And you're an Oroka, right? A bird person.
Yes,
you have, like,
so
wings?
sometimes I fly too high to the sun by myself and fall back to Earth
Oh.
because I love the sun so
It
much.
happens.
It's so pretty. It's so beautiful.
Sometimes you just have to casually Icarus.
Then save yourself when you remember you're actually a bird.
So that is interesting that you're.
I have slight eye damage, slight, from staring at the sun too long. It's canon. You can go.
Because you're like, Mommy, you proud of me?
Got it.
My
Give
mom's
Scott
dead, Greg.
disadvantage on vision check, but give him advantage in perception with listening.
Or you could give him like if something is in the sunlight, he has like +2 to perception, but if it's not in the sunlight, a -2 to perception.
I already don't
The
have dark
sunlight
vision,
helps him
guys.
because
Thanks a
he
lot.
praises the sun.
Etienne, I don't know how to break this to you, but Barovia is Seattle.
Oh no, he will always get a negative.
Wait, so we could have been drow and it would have been totally fine.
Mhm.
No, you would have had different problems.
Oh.
I have dark vision. I'm fine.
Basically, I can't see anything, guys, but I will whack things as much as I can.
Nah, you'll be fine.
The bird person is the blindest one here.
So next
The
we
eagle
have-
eye was used for looking at the sun and nothing else.
Was burned to regular eye.
What a use of eagle eye.
All right, and then lastly we have Falkas, right? What is your story?
Falkas went to the circus one day when he was decently young, and was enchanted by how the fortune teller at the circus could actually tell the future. When the circus picked up to leave to the next place, Falkas ran away with them and apprenticed himself to that fortune teller. Worked and traveled with the circus for a while, learning a couple of tricks of the trade and learning divination magic from his master, until they disappeared one night mysteriously, leaving behind only their like glass eye that they used to wear and a bowl of water that has a really punny name, but like can't remember it right now.
You suck. I'm kidding. Keep going.
What is the name of the bowl of water, or do you know?
We'll see.
Okay.
If you flip over to my equipment, something about whenever you put eyeballs into it, you can see what they saw in the past, but because my master was dumb and left me only a glass eyeball, it doesn't actually work. Oh, the dead pool. I don't get it.
Deadpool
So if I put my head in there, does that count?
Do you ever do this? Like just put eyeballs in there?
So after my master leaves, I take over as Falkas takes over as the circus fortune teller, but decides to look for his master, and leaves the circus after earning a couple of bucks, wandering from town to town, asking some information on them, and earns money as a consulting detective using divination magic and this mysterious pool of water that gives him strange nightmares whenever he uses it. Seems odd, but whatever.
Also, don't you have to like desecrate a corpse every single time?
Like
is it really desecration? It's just the eyes.
He's got special forceps at this point, so it's less bloody.
What would happen if you just dunked someone's head in there? So technically, the eyes are in the bowl.
I mean, the bowl of water isn't that big. You
like
can't
serving ice cream, but eyeballs.
Oh yeah, what happens if we do eat ice cream out of that bowl?
it's not the bowl that's magical; it's the water.
Well, make ice cream out of water.
Then you've got really thin ice cream, and I feel sorry for you.
Greg, you know what? I'll let you figure that out later.
I didn't hear the question, but okay.
Actually, whatever. I'll tell. Yeah, no, it's the bowl and the water.
Okay.
I'm going to say that you've probably at some point experimented by switching the water out in the bowl and it didn't work, and putting that water into a different bowl and it didn't work. And all you just had were two bowls of eyes.
Could be cocktails. Who knows?
Sorry for making you explain this pun, Andrew, but it's called Deadpool because of the comic book character and because his teacher died and left behind a pool. Is that pun?
Primarily because of the character, I'm sure.
It's because of it's a reference to the character as a bit of a joke, but but it only works with the eyes of someone who's dead. And since the person who gave it to him only left a glass eye, he can't really use it. But yeah, it only works on a dead person's eyeballs, and you see it shows a bit of an image of the last thing they saw right before they died. And depending on how if you put both eyeballs in, you get a little bit more. If the corpse is really fresh and you pulled the eyeball from it recently, you see a little more, etc.
Yeah, I probably should have put that on, but I'm probably still carrying around my my master's, or like lost master's glass left eye.
What if someone passes out and because they thought they were about to die, but then you take one of their eyes and put it in the bowl?
Well, they're not dead then, technically, right?
They're not dead. It doesn't show anything.
And we'll be very confused.
What if they have cardiac arrest, so they are technically dead, but then you bring them back with CPR.
I think we're getting too deep into the what ifs here.
If we use their eye on the bull, does that mean they can't be brought back?
There's,
Alright,
I mean, there's resurrection magic. Nobody's really dead.
Greg, would it
Our
be
god is
possible
confused.
Greg, would it have been
How
possible
deep
that
does this pool go?
You know what? I'll just leave this to you guys to figure out in the game.
Yeah, Falkas what?
I'm never mind. I was gonna ask if like he ever tried putting the eyeballs in and then having that person resurrected, but
We'll come to that when it comes to it.
don't.
Did he ever try drinking the eyeball water?
I'm only a level 1 wizard. I'm just a wizard.
Does putting the eyeballs in consume the soul of the person so they can't be resurrected?
I'll let
We
you
should try
figure that
that.
out later.
Oh
Let's
no!
I'm
volunteer.
definitely writing down all of these questions.
Also, the glass left eye swivels around for some reason, all on its own. Don't know why it does that, but kind of did that while it was in the head of my master too.
It's
Your
a
master
functional
Mad Eye
eye.
Moody.
Kinda.
Is it better than my eyes?
Possibly. Oh, I mean, he is a hawk person.
Yeah, but I stared at the sun, so maybe,
That's
I can
true.
replace that eye.
Sun monk.
Mad eye Artesh.
All right. Yeah, I think that's it for introductions.
Onwards.
We can, if Greg, since you missed the first few, you can rewatch the stream.
Found on YouTube and on certain podcasts now.
Hooray! And we promise that it's going to be much better organized in the future. Please forgive our DM. It's his second time ever.
Make sure the likes.
If you haven't, check out our Patreon at insert Patreon name here.
We don't have a Patreon. All right.
Alternatively, go to our.
Stop lying to these people. It's gonna be like Anna and like maybe one other person. Like
You can reach our Venmo at blank.
yeah, donate on PayPal.
We take Bitcoin too.
Send me
Please
money.
take care to find us on MySpace.
Sponsored by Squarespace. Go to squarespace.com/podcast.
Oh, no.
At some point, we need to come up with a name for the party, but I'll wait for that for later, I guess.
Squarespace.
Squarespace, yeah.
Are we gonna have to just use these as
Build
a
your own
base
website.
and then re-record this later when we actually want to monetize?
No, I don't think so. All right.
I don't think this is going to be monetized.
No.
Oh, trust me, it will be.
Okay.
We can get
We'll find
literally
a way.
pennies of money.
It is 100% profit.
All right. Let's get this back on track.
All right.
I have a question, actually.
Yes.
So, Timothy is a warlock. What do we all think he is? Like a wizard, a warlock of happy, fluffy bunnies that aren't evil at all?
I mean, you've seen me explode a goblin boss's head off.
He's obviously a paladin who's just gone down the wrong path.
Yeah, of course. I
Right?
just threw a force beam out of my hand and exploded a guy's head. Definitely.
He's a psionic.
Yep.
Explosions make light, and I like light, so I like Timothy.
Okay, so they have the patron, but he's like cagey about it. But it's fine. The patron's probably not evil. No, I mean, like he's not the one with the eyeballs.
Oh, sorry.
What?
Give me a moment.
What about
I'll be right back.
eyeballs? Sorry.
We can
No,
always,
that's my thing. I've got a special
Oh yeah,
tool
yeah.
that's
So I'm
taking out
not into
eyeballs out of heads.
eyeballs.
That's why you seem like more suspicious than the person who explodes goblin heads and has a patron.
Mhm. But do we know about his eyeball bull yet?
not terribly. No.
Okay. Well, when it comes up, we might be suspicious of how evil you truly are.
Yeah, I think we all have like secrets except Artesh and Skal, the nice people.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm just nice and stupid.
Uh-huh.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm pretty nice and stupid as well.
Yay!
Wait, Skal, I told you about the bell, right?
The bell?
The evil bell. It makes you evil.
No,
My
it
character
doesn't.
has the bell.
Huh?
But I don't know if that's involved with this.
Oh yeah, it's not. I was just going through my notes and I forgot if you mentioned that or not. Anyway, not important.
I completely forget or was not here for the bell. I have no idea.
Oh yeah, don't worry about it then. I just rolled you up a trinket earlier and sent it to you, but it's not important.
Our god has sent a
Okay.
gift.
Unless it has like magical properties, it usually doesn't do much.
It was a random little trinket. It was a bell given to him by his great grandmother or by
Oh
his
yeah,
grand-
that bell. The heirloom bell.
Yeah.
Improvised weapon.
I have a book of maps. That's my trinket. I don't know what it does. That's the description of it. Is I don't know what it does.
I have nails from like a murderer's coffin. I think that's pretty straightforward what it did.
It was nails in a coffin.
Why did you take nails from a coffin?
Yeah. Wow.
He fix.
All right. So
Question mark?
all right. So let's jump to it. Now that we got the character introductions out of the way. So we're going to start. We're going to start with a bird's eye view of Castle Ravenloft. At night, a lone figure.
Caw.
Caw-caw. Caw-caw.
I'm waiting. That one. Yeah, that one.
It's my friend.
Don't worry about the screen
Scott,
sharing.
what color are your
just doing
feathers?
I'm just doing it for the people who are watching the stream later. Yeah.
So a view of Castle Ravenloft as shown on the screen. Except the only difference is that there's a lone figure walking into the door. Two figures jump out from the side and walk next to it as it enters the castle. Lightning strikes, everything flashes, and then the camera pans upwards into blackness, and then in blood comes the words "Curse of Strahd," and then the camera pans down onto to a horse-pulled wagon with a very colorful man. Yes, there we go. Curse of Strahd.
Okay, horse-pulled wagon with a very colorful man.
At the reins, and
Welcome to our graphics department here.
Mm-hmm.
And
I said, don't worry about it. I'll handle it.
Yeah, there's a very colorful looking man at the reins as it trots through a forest, a very misty forest, and then it cuts to inside the wagon. We have our 5 heroes. All right, you guys, yeah, misty forest. You guys in the wagon, you're moving around. You guys have, just to recap, you guys have joined your new friend, Darzin Alistroy. He is a Vistani who has agreed to take you to Barovia and give you a map of Barovia for some gold.
To 10 from like 20.
Yeah. In fact, when you guys went to pay him, he instead gave you some gold coins that because he actually had pickpocketed some of the actual cost of the map from from Skal earlier before he got drunk and fell asleep.
Wait a minute.
Yep, you weren't there for that part. That's right. But yeah. It was 9.5 gold pieces, and he promised to pay you 1 gold per per wolf killed. Because and you guys are going with him to defend his caravan as he goes to get wine. In the back of the caravan, like in the back of the wagon, there's 4 empty wine barrels, and you guys are basically just sitting on them with Jason kind of just like at the edge of one because he is the shortest.
And I am playing my bagpipe.
No.
We really needed to hear that.
You really did.
All right. Is there anything you guys wanted to do in the back of the wagon?
Detect magic every 10 minutes.
Wait, is detect magic a cantrip?
It's a ritual, which is why it goes from 1 action to an action plus 10 minutes.
All right.
Unfortunately.
Well, if you're going to detect magic, you are going to find absolutely nothing.
There's a ring. There's a ring. There's a ring. There's a sword. There's a ring. There's a ring. There's a ring. There's a hat. There's a ring. There's a ring.
All right, I'll let you make a perception check if you want to actually look around it.
I have a question about, isn't detect magic a first level spell?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, but you can cast those as much as you'd like as long as the ritual casts?
I mean, casting as a ritual, yeah, it doesn't take up spell slots. They just take 10 extra minutes, so they become a bit less battle oriented.
Okay, I just want to make sure because I think I have detect magic as well. It's just I'm like, oh, it's a first level slot. I'm not sure.
Like,
yeah, but you also
I
don't
need
have
to make
ritual
sure.
caster.
Yeah, exactly.
Greg, please describe your ritual for detect magic.
I am going to pull out my crystal ball and throw tarot cards at it. If anything appears.
I'm
just see him with
assuming
the
it's
glass
like
ball, just throwing some cards at the glass ball.
And this is why it takes 10 minutes, because every time I empty out my deck, I gotta gather up everything again, shuffle it back up, position myself in the right place, start throwing again.
I would like to imagine you're like throwing them out Yu-Gi-Oh style.
He's like Gambit.
Yes.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Can you do it on a motorcycle though?
Oh no, not the motorcycle.
All right, and
No,
if
it's my
any of
feet
you
firmly planted on the ground, not flying 60 miles an hour on a highway.
All right, Greg, I will let you make an actual perception check if you want, but there is no magic around you. Anybody else who wants can also make a perception check, but
Oh, I'm not looking outside of the card. I'm just staring at my crystal ball. I'm leaving that job for everyone else. Like
okay.
the eagle-eyed one, maybe.
I'm blind, remember?
I will look outside the cart. I will do it.
I'll look outside the cart too and see what happens. Yeah, 5.
5.
17, I guess.
I have an okay perception.
15.
5, 15.
Minus
plus 3 to perception.
Oh, sorry, that's a 7.
Oh, okay, I got a
much
4. I rolled a 1. I'm not seeing anything today.
All right, natural 1 for Etienne. And Jenny, would you care to, or are you good?
She's mute, I think.
She's trying to figure out how to sing our praises of taking out a goblin lord by putting its underlings to sleep.
All right, I'm going to assume that Jenny is that Elyse is really distracted at the moment trying to figure out the song. So Timothy, you find that you are way too distracted by Falkas's crystal ball and card throwing.
I mean,
one of his cards almost hits you in the eye, so you have to duck out of the way, and you miss everything.
Damn.
Scott with a 7. Let's see. You find that you find on the casks, the empty barrels or casks of wine, the words "Wizard of Wines." One of them has the name Red Dragon scrawled on it, and two of them have the words Purple Mash 12 scrawled on it, and the last one has like wiped away chalk from where the name was.
Cool.
Yeah.
Purple.
And then Jason, with a 15, you find a child's toy on the ground.
Of the road?
No, just no, not on the road, but
Get fully faster.
In the cart?
In the cart.
How did we not notice this before? Strange.
Is it magical?
Clearly, I just have an eye for it. Mm.
It's shaped like a cute little werewolf. But like it's in the shape of a werewolf, like in like a hybrid form.
Oh, that's neat.
Does it have button eyes?
It has exactly one button eye, and it even has like little red paint on its claws.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little bit adorable and a little bit creepy at the same time. And on the back of it, there's a little tag. And on the back of it is a little tag that says,
Do you like the doll that I found?
Do not rip off unless you are end consumer.
Made in China? What does it say?
Give me a second so I can say it just right, because...
Okay.
Where are you?
Because this is why people think that D&D leads to witchcraft, because it is.
Yep. Werewolves.
Oh, yeah. It's that, and on it, it says, is no fun, is no Blinsky.
Ah, now it's all clear.
I understand everything.
Is no blinks.
Is no fun, is no Blinsky.
It's like a really bad fortune cookie.
Literally the worst fortune cookie. Is no fun, is no Blinsky.
Also, there's like a little trademark symbol after Blinsky.
Yeah.
Who knows the Blinsky
Can I
brand?
knowledge roll to see if I've ever heard of a Blinsky?
Go ahead.
Well, I got a 6. So probably not.
Strangely, you have never heard of this. It must mean is no fun. But yeah. So, but with the 15, more importantly, you hear a loud crack.
Oh shit.
And the whole cart shakes a little bit.
Wait,
Did it just feel like we went over a branch, or was it something hitting the cart?
It feels like it was an abrupt stop.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Let's go check with the driver. What's going on then?
Who leaves the cart?
I leave the cart.
I will also leave the cart because
I'm in the middle of my...
I'll push Falkas out of the cart.
Wait, I gotta gather my tarot cards!
I'm gonna chill here until someone screams. Or unless someone screams.
Okay.
Until she can see the future.
All right.
Skal does not scream. He yells for glory.
Everybody but Elyse can see that a tree, a really old-looking tree, has fallen and blocked the road in front of you. And there's just a look of both annoyance and acceptance and a little bit of rage as your friend Darzin is just like, every freaking time. It's a kind of angry look you see when somebody who commutes every day hits a stoplight that's always red.
How bad are these
That
trees?
one
That they
stop
mass
light.
transportation was a thing.
The same tree has blocked his path at least 10 times.
It's the same tree.
It's the same bandit group, you mean?
Can I perception to see what knocked down the tree?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh wait, do you have nature?
I do believe I'm trained in nature.
I think I do,
You
but
have
I'm
-1.
Yeah, I have a -1.
Wait, was I actually dragged outside?
Nature. I got a 6.
Was I actually dragged outside?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You're welcome.
Actually, yeah. So is it just Etienne taking a look then? Make your roll, my friend.
I got a 6.
All
nature.
right.
What if I do an investigation check on the tree?
You can go ahead. In fact, do it with advantage because you have Timothy helping you out.
I will intimidate the tree.
My investigation is a +5. Let's see if I can investigate the hell out of it. That's a 4, but advantage.
Advantage.
That's also a 4. Do I get a bonus?
All right.
2 4s in a row. We have no idea.
I've got
So
a 9.
with a 9, you can see pretty clearly that the tree wasn't cut so much with an axe, unless it was hit like 500 times in very random and weird angles. It looks like it was actually just a really old tree.
That had been a scratching post for a really big cat.
The cat was playing the long game.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, so that's what you find. Yeah, like the image on the side that Etienne's brought up.
Oh, sorry. This one. Okay.
So, I'm gonna say that Falkas and Timothy are surrounding this tree. Everyone, looking around, you'll find that you're in the middle of a very misty forest. The mist kind of covers like everywhere. You can still kind of see through it, but you definitely can't see more than like 15, 20, or more than like 30, 40 feet. 18 brought up a good picture up there, actually, to summarize it.
This one?
Yeah, and let's see. I forgot. I knew I wrote down who had what passive perception earlier.
I
I've got 11.
12.
Yeah, that's right. And Artesh?
Yes.
You notice a little something strange about some of the mists surrounding Falkas. It looks almost like two paws just to the side of him. With the toe beams, so to speak, pointing towards Falkas.
I'm sorry, did you say something? I was too busy staring at the sun again.
There is no sun. There's only mist.
Yeah, I said nothing. You're good.
Wait, there's claws next to Falkas's head.
They're gone.
Oh,
You're good.
they're gone. Okay.
You were distracted
cool.
by the sun. It's fine. Also, the sun is like more along the lines of you can stare directly at its general direction, and you kind of barely can make out a little orange light.
This is the perfect time for me, guys.
You can stare at the sun as much as you want.
Scoot away and outside to join you all.
Darzin comes to the back and pulls out some camping supplies.
Mm.
Are we just gonna wait here, Darzin?
What are we gonna do about this tree?
He turns to you
barbarian, he
guys.
can move it.
He turns to you guys, and he pulls out the rope from his camping supplies, puts the rest of it down, puts fire starting materials down off to the side, and asks Falkas to light the fire, and starts tying the rope to the back of the wagon and to the tree.
Oh,
I'm actually gonna elbow Timothy in the side, be like, "Hey, this is your job.
I'm here to light the fires.
The small ones."
Oh,
Darzin just looks at both of you in your general direction. I don't care who is going to get cold.
okay. I'm gonna cast the minor illusion of a fire.
Illusion?
God damn it! You didn't take precipitation.
I only get 2 cantrips. You're the one who gets like 4 or something.
Give me a second.
That's later. What? Wait, we overlapped on minor illusion. God damn it!
It's fine.
Darzin doesn't.
I believe I have fire starter in my kit.
Do you actually cast the illusion then?
I'll cast the illusion as a joke, but I have tinderbox in my backpack.
Okay. Darzin takes one look at the fake fire, nods his head yes, and then goes back to working.
Oh, my fake fire fooled him.
I will start setting up my alarm ritual.
I will get to work on the tree. I'm a man of many axes.
Yeah. Yes.
So after some time, Darzin has tied up the tree to the back, one end of the tree to the back of his cart, and is getting ready to like pull the tree a bit, so even though it's fallen, like it'll at least open up enough. And you just hear him muttering under his breath, "We are almost there. The gate's right there. Every time. Swear to God."
I would like to help him move the tree, if possible.
Yeah, who are strong people who can help him?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Well, before he even gets that far, I want to like hack parts of the tree off that are just like kind of in the way, or that would like prevent it from moving.
Okay, sounds good. All right. So part of the trees cut off should be a lot easier. While you guys are working on that, it starts raining a bit. It's like a slight drizzle. And the little bit of sun that you were able to see, Artesh, is now blocked.
I have seasonal depression.
All right. He asks all of you to get behind the tree to push when he says yeah, so you guys can push while the horse pulls.
All right. Is that an athletics check or no check needed?
Are we all helping?
Are we all just helping the gnome to push?
Yes.
Yes. So on the
it's
count of 3, so I'm going to need everybody to make a strength athletics check.
Okay.
Can't I just make mine a help check? That's it.
Don't worry, everyone make it.
Okay.
All right.
I got a 9.
13.
I got 15.
Got
13 plus 2.
12 in total.
Got a 14 minus 1.
We are not
18?
strong.
18.
Yep.
All right. And the horse. Okay.
Gets a 1.
You hear a lot of strain on the rope, but the tree only budges again a little bit. At that, you hear a bit of thunder far off in the distance, and you see Darzan start to look a little scared. He's like, "All right, one more time, give it all you got."
All right, another
We're
roll.
rolling again then.
Yes.
Let's change it. This is better.
I got a 14.
Well,
18.
5.
I guess not.
Okay. Actually, that's pretty good. So at the sound of the thunder off in the distance, combined with the crack of the whip, the horse pulls very hard, and with all of your efforts combined, the tree starts to move out of the way.
Yay!
And that's when another crack of thunder happens. The horse freaks out, and and the rope that was holding the tree to the cart begins to snap, and Darzan and his wagon go speeding off.
Oh, this is cool, guys.
Oh no!
all right. My tarot cards.
Out of the back of the wagon, like a little card flies out, like one of your little tarot cards.
Check it out. I start chasing after. Those are expensive.
Sorry, I dragged you out of that card, Falkas.
You
Are you
want
like a character from Frasier or something?
Now we're left in the misty forest.
does Falkas want to look at the card?
Sure.
It's death.
The card that fell out is the Mists card.
How convenient.
Well, that's
What's-
obscuring.
Ha. Ha.
It's not like a real tarot card, so I don't think you're gonna be able to find it.
We found one.
Oh yeah. Look up Curse of Strahd Mist Tarot. I'll type it in. So, funny enough, Curse of Strahd actually has its own tarot cards.
Oh, how pretty!
Yeah, there it is.
Ooh.
I see. I guess hopefully we'll try to make our tarot deck back by finding all these tarot cards around the Strahd world.
Also, this is a little on the nose, isn't it?
Man, I acquired this from my
Because of the
master,
grave?
and they're so hard to find.
So, I think my loot is also in that wagon, so I think we should go after it. My loot, your tarot cards.
All right, let's go.
Wait,
chase.
did you leave your loot in the wagon?
Well, yeah. I mean, it was like,
We were getting out to help push a tree.
Makes sense.
Why would
Yeah.
we bring all our camping gear?
I wasn't expecting to, like, stay out, given that there was no screaming.
All right, let's go chase after that wagon then.
When you,
Onward.
Okay. You start chasing after the wagon for about 30 minutes, walking through the forests filled with mists, and you realize you're a bit lost.
Nah.
Survival?
We're just traveling without direction. It's fine.
So
And-
can at
and,
least try to track away out of, away toward the wagon, specifically. Look for horse tracks or whatever.
Or the wagon.
You know, if Timothy had actually hexed Darzan, this wouldn't be a problem.
Oh, you're right. I should have done that.
Yes. Obviously. Hex the hell out of him.
I didn't think he was bad.
You are unable to use any kind of magic to find Darzan if you're trying to track the hex. Hex.
Okay.
So, I just want to like track for tracks, I guess. Can I roll for that or?
Yeah, survival.
That's a 17.
All right. As you track the tracks, it seems like it goes around in a circle and disappears.
My food!
That's a
The tracks become shallower and shallower. The tracks become shallower and shallower until they just disappear.
It's a flying
Stranger and stranger.
Well,
I'm gonna start digging where it looks like they ended up going.
there's
They ended up spiraling and going in a circle.
back at the tree. Could probably just wait there if we're right by the gate.
You can't find the tree anymore.
Well, fuck.
Oh no.
But at the but as you track the tracks,
Mhm.
you make basically a big kind of moon shape, and you find the tracks disappear. Right at a spot where in the distance you can see the gates of Barovia. Or you see, yeah.
I guess we'll go.
You see gates that may be the gates of Barovia.
I guess we'll go to Barovia.
All right. The fog spills out of the forest to swallow up the road behind you. Ahead, jutting from the impenetrable woods on both sides of the road, are high stone buttresses looming gray in the fog. Huge iron gates hang on the stonework. Dew clings to the cold tenacity. Dew clings with a cold tenacity. With cold tenacity to the rusted bars. Two headless statues of armed guardians flank the gates, their heads now lying among the weeds at their feet. They greet you only with silence. The gates are also open.
What a perfect picture.
I try to remove the eyeballs of the statues.
They're stone.
Oh, okay.
You can't. If you're going to try to remove them, you're going to need to get a chisel at least. Yeah.
Can stone die?
These kinds of existential questions that the Deadpool can answer.
Skal has had enough of this nonsense. He is marching through those gates.
The real question, Scott, is can stone live?
According to golems, yes.
Let's I'm gonna wait for Skal to go 10 feet past the gates and then follow.
All right, Skal, what do you do?
I'm going. Skal has places to be.
I guess I'll follow 5 feet behind him.
I'm
Wait,
just gonna walk 2 feet behind. 3 feet.
Did Skal leave his bagpipes in the cart?
Behind Skal.
Skal absolutely left his bagpipes in the cart, unfortunately.
All of our musical instruments, no! How are we going to entertain ourselves?
We walk into Barovia.
Into
Barovia.
As Skal walks through the gates, as he gets 10 feet away from the gates, nothing happens.
Okay, let's go.
All right. As everyone walks through the gates, you start hearing a creak sound come from the gates as they shut behind you.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's fine.
Ominous.
Not creepy, need an in.
Mm-hmm. I could use a cup of tea right now.
You follow through the gates. There's still a lot of forest that surrounds you. But as you follow the road, you eventually hit a wide open plain. To the left of the plains, you'll to the left of the plains, you'll see a river in the distance. But up ahead, you see a what looks like a little town.
Oh, how nice.
Do we notice any signs of life from that town? Like smoke, anything?
Any lights?
We go to town.
Yeah, I would say there's a hint of light that most of you could see. Let me take
there's
the
light.
perceptions again. Oh, okay. Yeah. Timothy, you actually don't see any lights coming from the town.
Okay.
Wait, but the rest of us do?
Passive perception, baby.
Oh,
Even one blind still can see matter.
Haha.
that's not bad.
You're good at saying light.
I have a 13 passive though.
This makes no sense.
But just don't listen to him.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
Is it like night, evening, afternoon at this point?
Misty.
Timothy,
Seattle.
yeah,
It's Seattle.
The time is
you're
Seattle.
not entirely sure what time it is. It's definitely it's not dark, but
Okay.
it's very gray, like a Seattle-y kind of drizzle is hitting all of you. It's kind of like rain, but instead of real rain, it's more like somebody just blowing raspberries at your face.
Seattle gray.
Yeah, great.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
This is my favorite, actually.
Let's head to town then.
The only one who has a kind of concept of how long it's been since you guys have left would be Timothy, as a little bit of the craving starts kicking in.
Oh,
Oh,
I think it's near tea time. Go to town and have some tea.
Do you guys want to go into town? Do you guys want to make camp? What do you want?
Wouldn't you agree, lads?
Town.
To the town.
Tall shapes loom out of the dense fog that surrounds everything. The muddy ground underfoot gives way to slick, wet cobblestones. The tall shapes become recognizable as village dwellings. The windows of each house stare out of the pools of blackness. No sound cuts the silence except for the mournful sobbing that echoes through the streets from a distance.
Wait, where does that sobbing come from?
From somewhere in the streets. You can choose
Okay.
to follow it if you'd like.
Yeah, sure.
let's head straight toward
It'd be
it.
good to ask someone where we are.
It'd
Absolutely.
be nice to go to the pub instead, but I mean, if someone's sobbing, I guess we can do something about that.
We could be heroes.
Let's go be heroes.
Like folk heroes.
Do you look at the buildings and stuff?
Yes.
So
Are they abandoned?
as you walk through the town, you'll find that a lot of that you're surrounded by houses that look a bit more out of the Victorian age than from the kind of modern brick housing that you guys have come from.
Or I don't know.
To the
Fantasy architecture.
to the east, or well, to the right of you guys as you guys enter the town. To the right of you, guys, as you guys enter the town, you see an old lady walking in the opposite direction of you, going from house to house. And up ahead, you see some buildings with signs hanging from it. But yeah, other than that, it's just like older Victorian age houses. they look more worn than anything. Although they're inhabit like that, but like not less obviously creepy. It's more like it just hasn't been maintained as well as it should have.
Okay.
Yeah, like that.
Not that obviously creepy.
Yeah, I mean, they're not like particularly creepy. They just look poorly maintained.
Okay. Makes sense.
The difference being like a creepy room might have some skulls on the ground. This kind of room would be more like the person living there hasn't felt like cleaning it up in maybe a few years. There's some laundry on the ground. There's like dust everywhere, that kind of room.
And their porcelain and doll collection is just everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, wait, you guys don't normally have that? All right, so yeah. At this point, Timothy, you start being able to see the lights more clearly. It seems like the mist was just kind of blocking it a little bit for you.
Oh, I see. It's because of my devil sight.
Yes.
I have an ability called devil sight that lets me see through darkness, even if it's magical darkness.
Yeah. All right. Do you guys want to keep wandering through the city? You see, so outside of the normal houses, you see a sparse light coming from a building with heavy curtains drawn. The sign over the door creaking on it says Bildreth's Mercantile. And on the opposite end of that, you see a single shaft of light thrusts illumination into the main square, its brightness looking like a solid pillar in the heavy fog. Above the gaping doorway, a sign hangs precariously askew, proclaiming this to be the Blood of the Vine Tavern.
Well, I see no better way to get information than go to the tavern.
Mm-hmm. And I could use a cup of tea, my fellow friends.
And you hear crying. So to the right of you is the sign saying the tavern. To the left is the sign saying the mercantile place. And it's also and in that direction is also where you hear the crying coming from.
Let's be honest, though, we should probably investigate the crying first.
Sure.
Skal rushes in.
Walking past the Bildreth's Mercantile, you guys walk up to an old house, like the one on Etienne's screen.
Oh, the old.
Oh yes, and you hear crying coming from inside. A moaning sob floats through the still gray streets, coloring your thoughts with sadness. The sounds flow from a dark two-story townhouse.
Is the door open?
What you hear coming from the townhouse is Gertruda, my Gertruda.
Oh, I guess we'll knock.
Sure, we knock assertively.
No, you don't hear anything outside of Gertruda.
I speak at the door. Hello, are you okay?
You hear more crying, but none of it directed at you.
I say we go get a pint and ask the local establishment if this is a regular occurrence.
Yeah, I'm not really comfortable with just breaking into this person's house.
Yeah, definitely.
You'll find that the door actually has a few holes in it.
Oh.
And is slightly skewed open.
So a tavern or
Potential
open the
break-in.
door? Yeah.
if the door is already kind of open, then I think it's okay for us to walk in.
We'll be walking into the middle of a B&E, but okay.
We would be trespassing though, so
I would do it. I'm just gonna like start nudging on the door and giving you all looks like, let's do this.
We're
Do you
vigilante
look
heroes.
inside?
Let's do this.
Do you look
As
inside?
Yes.
long as we don't send them Barbarian in first, I guess.
You see, when you look inside, you see the living room of an old house. There's a really old looking sofa that's been turned over. The windows in the house are boarded shut, and in one of the corners you see a figure, the backside of a figure, where the crying is coming from, just facing into the wall, and you just hear very much more louder, "Gertrude, my baby!"
Skal's going to go in the house, but keep their distance from the figure for now.
Okay, I'll walk in after Skal.
I sigh as I know we're trespassing where we shouldn't be, but I will join them.
It's only trespassing if she doesn't.
If she presses charges.
Exactly.
It's only trespassing if she prosecutes us.
We did
No,
not.
that's the lawful neutral I come to love. Yeah. Are any of you trying to be stealthy particularly, or?
No.
No, I think I'm gonna
I
head
don't
toward.
think we're trying to sneak up on her. I don't.
No,
think
I'm
we're trying.
absolutely going to be like, hello, are you doing okay?
When you say that, you see the figure like stop moving and like shake, and like her head turns a little bit, and what you see,
Does this house look like it's been broken into?
This.
Well, now it is.
Oh, it's just a nice old lady.
And
Wait, how do I?
Sorry. What?
Oh gosh, Etienne.
oh god, nightmares.
Sorry, what do we see, Andrew?
And as the recursion consumes us all. Anyway, so what you see.
I just heard.
No, Andrew,
this.
turn it back on. We were forced to watch Etienne's screen.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
So you see in her arms is a young girl. Is not a young girl. Is what looks like a baby.
Okay. Sorry, I thought you were showing an image, so I went back to non-screen sharing. Okay, so you see her holding a baby.
Mm-hmm. And she's still like,
nice old grandma.
"Oh, go away! The devil's not welcome here. You already took everything. You're
So we're not the devil, and Elyse like takes a step closer, like the same way you would in a hostage situation, I guess. And she just says, "We're adventurers. Like this makes it okay."
It makes it okay.
Probably not talk at this point.
And we wanted to see if there's anything we can do to help with your distress.
She looks up, and she looks at you, and is just like they took her. They took Gertrude from me.
It's really hard to see this girl crying when there's nice smiling grandma on my screen.
And try to like put my hand like on her shoulder to establish trust. And I'm gonna say, who took her?
The devil.
I look back at the rest of the party and my eyes just kind of roll.
Timothy does not appreciate the devil's name being taken in vain like this.
Timothy, do you know anything about this?
I'm going to roll.
I say I would need a cup of tea to consult with my patron.
No, not whoever that is. It was Strahd, the devil.
Strahd is a
It was Strahd. He took Gertruda.
Hmm.
Do any of
Elyse,
us recognize the name?
Elyse, you look down and you see it's not in fact a baby in her arms, but a doll.
Oh.
Oof. I think I've heard it enough that instead of like screaming like a little girl, I just like give her a startled look, and I say, "Who was taken again?"
My daughter. And then she squeezes the doll a bit harder. You see that the doll is also a bit malformed. It looks like it's basically glaring at whoever is looking at it. And and the dress on it seems to be worn, as if the doll has been passed down for multiple generations.
Does it have a tag that says, "Is no fun, is no Blinsky"?
How did you know?
Just nothing. I see. Well, can we try to help you find your daughter back?
Okay, no, someone get that off my screen. Sorry, I'm not a creepy doll person.
Yeah, that's
Is
right.
that not the image of a doll you want?
Timothy, when you say that, she looks at you and her eyes have just a tiny bit of not exactly hope, but like pleading. And she just says, "Bring her back. I can't live without my Gertruda. She's my life." And then she starts crying and holds the doll even harder.
I guess we'll try to find her Gertruda.
As she hugs the doll even harder, the eyes slightly moves because of how she's holding it and looks directly at you, Timothy.
Oh.
But then as she lets go, it looks away.
This lady's pretty creepy.
She says, "Please bring her back. Will you do that for me?"
We will absolutely do everything in our power to bring back your daughter, ma'am.
Is the room illuminated by the giant exclamation point that is floating above her head?
No, it is in fact not. She says, "Thank you. She would never run away. She must have been taken."
I pat her soothingly and I say, "Of course she wouldn't have."
She looks up at you, and in her eyes, you just see nothing but age and sadness.
I feel bad for her, really, I do, but Elyse is thinking like, okay, so her daughter probably ran away from some hot dude, possibly named Strahd. This is like, maybe we shouldn't trust him.
Strahd is bodacious and has a six-pack.
Is that young girls run off from their creepy mothers with dolls for many reasons.
Strahd the ripped lich.
That's the look that I'm giving to all of you, like, okay, guess there's no money to be made here.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys want to do? She says, she looks at you and is like, "Thank you. Thank you." And she just kind of collapses on the ground. There's a bit of relief, but it's mostly fear.
I want to put my hand on her shoulder and ask her if there's any other information that would help us find her daughter.
She says that I've taken care of her all of her life. I've protected her from Strahd. I've kept her here in my home with all of the love I can give for years. And now she's just gone. They came in at night. They broke through the window. Oh, Gertrude.
Can we see that the window is broken?
Yes, the one that's
Oh.
boarded up.
Oh, okay.
Investigation check. See
She's
how
not
it was
completely
broken.
delusional, guys. Don't worry.
Do your investigation.
God, that's an 8.
You can confirm that it has in fact been broken,
It's in fact made of glass.
but you don't find any of the broken glass shards.
Trust me, guys. I'm a detective.
So who is this Strahd?
He's the devil.
Yeah,
He's cursed this land.
He what?
Cursed this land.
I don't
Some
know.
rats run past your feet.
That's disgusting. I don't recall any mention of a curse on Barovia.
She looks at you completely dumbstruck, and she just says, "Barovia is cursed by Strahd. It is his. We are nothing but his playthings. He sucks the life out of everything he touches, including Gertrude."
If we have anything to say about it. Come on, guys. We should probably go and find out more information, like at the tavern.
Sounds good. I want to learn how to join Strahd. Wait, before we go, do you have any tea on?
Etienne.
Can I set a kettle and make you a cup of tea?
She points to her kitchen, which you see is ransacked.
Never
Are
mind.
you really
I'll
picture
have
this
it.
poor woman pillaged kitchen for tea?
I'll let you make an
I
investigation
really
check.
need some tea right now, okay?
I'll let you make an investigation check.
Find her daughter. We should get tea. Speaking of which, ma'am, do you by any chance have like an instrument lying around? Like a
Or
lute?
intelligence, since you don't have it.
Yeah. A 4 investigation.
You do not, in fact, find tea.
So the tavern. Okay.
We're intelligent, we swear.
We have one intelligent member, and it is not me. I'm not one to find the tea kettles.
I will say though, there are paw prints, like very tiny prints, in the kitchen, but they lead out, and there's nothing else you find.
Like rats? Like this woman's got rats?
Bigger than rats, but
Oh,
only a little bit.
Cats.
Like big rats.
Cats.
she's got cats. Even worse.
All right.
Rating on the tea.
So, do you guys want to check some other houses? Do you want to go to the tavern? What you want?
Unless other houses are crying. To the tavern.
I'm gonna.
There are sounds coming from other houses.
Should we follow the tracks?
Wait, there are tracks?
Yeah. In the kitchen, there are tracks from creatures that are slightly bigger than rats.
I'm surprised you're interested in potential tracks that lead not towards a tavern and tea, but elsewhere.
True, but we did promise this woman to try to find her daughter.
Yeah, but we also don't know who the Strahd character is, and we should probably figure out more from a person who isn't traumatically and
I agree.
grieving.
You've
What
convinced
she
me.
had said.
It's time for tea.
As you before you guys leave, she does answer a few of your questions about Strahd, and you learn that he is a vampire and that he dwells in Castle Ravenloft. And
Well, that was easy.
is welcome in that castle.
And who's welcome in that castle?
No one.
Oh.
And that when people talk about a curse, they specifically mean Strahd. Yeah.
What is the curse that he has cast?
His existence.
It's just that much of a downer.
But yeah, she informs you how Strahd comes and goes from his domain, which is all of Barovia, as he wishes, and that everyone in Barovia becomes his.
Okay.
Yeah. Where would you like to go?
We're in Barovia. Are we his yet? I want to get some tea, so I'll go to the tavern if everyone else wants to.
So I don't know what instrument she would lend me.
She doesn't have anything like that, unfortunately.
Okay.
But you enter the tavern then. So the blood of the vine. And Etienne, if you'd like to
Etienne's got the photos.
You can do that too.
How busy is it? Is it like very busy? Like this?
Alrighty.
Or is it less busy like this?
Alrighty. As you walk in, as you pass the sign, you see on the sign it says Blood of the Vine Tavern. And as you walk in, you see it's not too lively. There's a man behind the bar cleaning his glasses, and there are three colorfully dressed women sitting at the table with a few papers in front of them, and in one of the and then at a table all by himself sits a man nursing a cup, just kind of glaring around. There are two other people in the tavern who are just, one of them's asleep at the table and the other one is just looking away. Much like the picture in front of you. You're all muted.
I am not muted.
Bartender and ask for some tea.
He looks at you and says, give me a second. He looks at you and says, 1 copper for 1 cup of beer, 1 copper for 1 cup of tea, 1 silver for 1 pint, 1 silver for 1 bottle of wine.
I will give him a copper for tea.
He takes one of the wordless, like without saying anything, he takes out one of the cups, like a kind of mug, and he takes out. He goes into the back and comes out with a kettle. You don't you see him carrying it with one hand, and he pours some water into the cup. You don't see any steam come from it, and he reaches below the bar and puts in 3 leaves. And goes back to cleaning his glasses.
Okay.
One of the 3 ladies at the table sees your drink and raises an eyebrow and goes back to looking at the paper.
Who drinks tea in Barovia?
I raise an eyebrow back.
She pretends to have not noticed.
Has she never seen some civilized gentleman drinking tea?
You see at that one of the other three women, like look at you guys, and her eyes just stop on the Arakora, Eric on Artesh.
Man.
I've always thought it was like Aarakocra.
Arakocra. And when the third woman who hadn't been paying attention at all noticed her just like stop and obviously stare, she turns around and sees Skal, and it's just like, huh? What do you guys
I look
do?
back at her and I raise my eyebrow. And flip some coins in the bar for a beer.
We just go into this tavern and raise our eyebrows. Everybody's staring at us.
Chapter 2, raising eyebrows.
So when one of the lady that's looking at Skal then puts on a smile and walks up and says, "Oh, I'm my dear friend, I'm so sorry. We don't get many of your kind around here. Please."
What other word was she going to use?
Try not to be racist, okay?
Please, you're clearly not from here. We've never seen someone of the likes of you before. Please join us.
I will absolutely take my beer and join them.
Yeah, she says that to you and Artesh more so specifically. Yeah, and she like sits down at a table with you guys.
I'll buy wine for the table.
All right, that'll be 1 silver.
Cool.
How much was a beer?
1 copper.
Okay.
The barkeep hands you the cups and goes back to cleaning. The 2 girls that are sitting with you are like, bring up, please drink some more. We are the owners of this fine establishment. You don't seem to be from here, if you don't mind me asking. And the guy sitting by himself in the back just kind of grunts and turns away. Takes a bigger sip of his beer.
No, we're not. We're from out of town. We were coming here with a guy named Darzan.
When you say that name, both of their eyebrows raise. It's like, oh, Darzan, what's he doing back here? Where'd he go? Where is he? And you hear like the one from the table all by herself, just like, Darzan, he still owes me money.
Oh, he owes us money too.
Where is that slime ball?
Ran off. His horse got spooked by lightning and disappeared into the forest without paying us.
The 2, all 3 of them start laughing, and just one of the ones at the table with you is just like, that makes 5 of us. He turns to
Silently counts our party. 5. Yeah, that's 5 of us.
You see that she's mostly talking about you 2. She turns to the barkeep and is like, Eric, wine for our new friends here. Elyse, do you join them?
Yeah, I'd say so. Especially if there's free wine.
Huh?
Especially if there's free wine.
I'm paying, so.
societal next to Artesh being like, yeah, this is my bro. I know him. I get free stuff.
I think they're offering to buy this new one.
Yes.
Also, Falkas, do you join them? Do you sit at the bar? What do you do?
Oh, are we not at the same table? Surrounding the
Falkas went to the bar to get a cup.
That's
why I'm
going to be communicating through chat from now on.
I was a bit sad that my kettle was in the cart when the cart ran off, so I'm just sipping my tea at the bar.
Your leaf water, you mean?
Yeah, my leaf water.
Delicious hot leaf water.
I don't think it's even hot.
I don't think they're even leaves.
The two girls at the table look at you, and one of them says, "My name's Alenka. This is my sister, Mirabelle. Oh, so what did that sleazeball Darzin do to you guys to get you here?"
Well, he was taking us, and then he kind of just left us in the forest.
They just like roll their eyes and like, and I bet he took all your gold, didn't he?
Good chunk of it.
Yeah, a bit.
And quite a few items of value too.
Said he was a wine wizard.
When you mention wine wizard, they look at each other. Oh, that's why he's here. He's going to the Wizard of Wines. All right, we'll keep that in mind. They turn to their they turn to the last woman in the back, and they say, "Sorvia, Sorvia, he's headed to the Wizard of Wines."
Wait, that's a real thing? I thought he was just trying to sell us stuff.
I'm like, no, Wizard of Wines, that's all the way down the road. That's far off in Barovia, but it's here. Good place. Everyone here gets their wine from them. They keep good quality.
So if we go there, we might actually be able to meet up with Darzin later?
Probably. Why, did he take something of yours?
He took several things, actually.
He did.
My tarot cards. And I slapped down my mist card. This is the only one I have.
Looks like you're missing the other cards.
Ha ha.
All three, the two women at the table start laughing. The one at the paper just kind of just like turns her head. And the guy at the table all by himself like gets up and walks over to the bar and sits next to Falkas. But yeah, he doesn't say anything. He just sits there, and one of the girls is like, "Ha, good one. Fortunately for you," and she pulls out a deck of her cards of her own.
It's like,
would you like a little trade?
One card for your deck? Seems a bit of an odd trade.
Not one card. More like 5 silver. I'll throw in that kettle for free.
I hear kettle and I'll say, I'll pay all of it.
Sounds like a lot for some tarot cards.
She looks at you and I said, did I say 5? I meant 10.
I look at her angrily and I say,
an entire gold for a deck of cards.
No. Oh, yeah.
And I say, I definitely think it should be 5 silver.
I gently murmur to him, free kettle.
Persuasion, I guess.
I continue like, remember, there's a free kettle in this.
I get a persuasion of 22 to reaffirm that I think it should be worth 5 silver and not 10.
All right. She puts down the deck of cards. She takes your miss card, and she pockets it in a spot on her dress that didn't look like it was a pocket up until she slid it inside. She puts the deck of cards in front of you and asks for the coin.
Okay, I will give her 50 copper. That's the same value.
Yeah.
I just have like a ton of copper because I had to trade a gold for copper for.
So
Adrian just wants to get rid of all his change in his pocket.
they roll their eyes.
He's
but they'll
paying
take
in
it.
penny.
I got a kettle now though. I can trade tea again.
Ismark, who's sitting next to you, out of like earshot from the two girls, is just like fools. Vistani never trade fair. Vistani never trade fair.
Is she Dastani?
Huh?
Is she Dastani?
I said Vistani.
Okay.
And he just mutters this to you.
I
Oh.
start checking through the cards.
Okay.
Is anything up with the cards?
Yeah, you find it's missing a card.
Which one?
Take a guess.
It's the missed card.
It's the missed card. And they walk away.
Stop them.
No, they just walk back to the table.
Okay, but I get my tea kettle, right?
Yeah. No, the tea kettle actually is fine.
Okay. It's
You
just
just find,
the one missing deck of cards.
you just find that it hasn't been used in a while.
That's fine.
So, I will say, you do taste a little something weird about your tea. It's not like a poison kind of taste or anything. It's just, it tastes like it's a flavor of tea you've never had before.
Well, yeah, I was told by Darzan that in Barovia they have many different types of tea.
Yep.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how good is this tea compared to other teas that I'm used to?
Well, since it's cold, 2.
Wait, it's cold tea?
Yeah,
He didn't even boil.
No, he didn't.
it's more like lukewarm.
Okay,
The water was obviously not steaming when he poured you your cup.
I am slightly unhappy, but it was only a copper, and I needed my tea fix. So
Yeah,
anything.
it definitely satisfies your tea fix. The man next to you just kind of chuckles to himself and finishes his drink.
So, friend, do you know anything about this wine wizard that I guess we're going to visit?
Oh wait, do you turn to the guy at the bar?
Yeah.
He says, "Oh, Wizard of Wines. They are the Wizard of Wines. They are far off, far to the west. You can take the road. You'll hit them eventually. But if you're going there, can I ask a favor?"
Sure.
He looks you guys over and is just like, "Follow me." He puts the cup down and flicks and puts a silver piece on the bar and walks out.
Wait, hang on. Perception on this guy before we just follow him to who knows where to do things for him for free?
Sure, and I'll give you some free. I'll give you something free for it. He looks like
Darzan.
I got a 5, so
he looks like this.
He's got a name that I can't read because visibility.
That's fine.
Oh, yeah, actually got
Okay.
Wait, can you show it one more time?
Oh yeah. There we go.
Nice. Okay.
So golden hair, Jamie Lannister with like a very strong jaw.
Silver.
Oh,
And yeah.
okay.
As you guys are walking out.
Wait, hang on. Silver? He's a young man with silver hair?
Yes.
Huh, okay.
half elf.
Is he?
As
Oh,
you guys are walking out of the bar,
we
he
should speak
shuts
into him
up.
in the nationally recognized half elf language of Abyssal.
That's right. We all speak Abyssal.
He as he walks out, he's like, as you guys walk out, he turns to you. He's like, "My name is Ismark the Lesser. I am the son of the Burgermaster of Barovia." And I would say you guys know that Burgermaster is basically like mayor.
Okay.
Because we're European now.
Yeah. And he starts walking you guys outside. To your right, you guys will actually also be able to glimpse the church on a hill, far off in the distance. And he leads you the opposite direction of it.
So where are we going? Elyse asks him.
He points he points down the road to. Do you see in the background that big building on Etienne's screen?
Mm-hmm.
That had better not be Castle Ravenloft.
He's like, "No, it's not Castle Raven. That's my mansion."
Nice
Of course
match.
you have a mention. You have a mention. Have I mentioned how happy we are to meet you?
Do you...
Mar.
Is this when dollar signs pop in Elise's eyes?
Yes.
She undoes her top button.
He shakes your he grabs your hand and says, "Charmed. It's nice to meet you. I am
Smile is someone who expects money very soon.
I would and he looks around and keeps checking around corners to make sure nobody's there, and he's whispering to you guys and he's talking to you guys like, I have a very desperate favor I must ask. I have a half sister.
Gertruda?
Let me finish. Sorry, I got really sidetracked by something. Yeah, he's like, I need you to I have a favor to ask you. And he pulls out of his pocket a severed hand holding a letter.
A woman's hand or
A male's hand.
okay. So
And
not
he said,
Because we can tell.
I think
yeah. Exactly. And he gives it to you and says, we are my family is in desperate needs. Is desperately trying to save my sister. We recently sent out a runner with a message, with a message hoping to find somebody's help, but he was never seen again. And then one day, the wolves left this hand in front of our desk, in front of our door. Do any of you want to read the letter?
yeah.
For later.
What does the letter say?
Hail to thee of might and valor. I, a lowly servant of Barovia. Oh wow, this is really hard to read. Send our to thee. We plead for thy desperately needed assistance. The love of my life, Arena Coliana, has been afflicted by an evil foe, by an evil so deadly that even the good people of our village cannot protect her. She languishes from her wounds, and I would have her saved from this menace. There is much wealth in this community. After all, that might be had to thee and thy fellows, if thou shalt but assure my desperate plea. Come quickly, for her time is at hand. All that I have shall be thine. Kolion Indirovich's burgermaster.
So, this Irina who has been afflicted, she is your sister?
Yes. The devil has come for her 2 times so far.
And by the devil, do you mean Strahd?
He like a little bit of a smile cracks on his face and is like, is there any other kind?
Well,
and then he continues with yes, Strahd. He cast his eye on her one day and decided she will be his. After the 3rd time, and has been to her bedchambers twice. After the 3rd time, I'm afraid she may be no more. Please, I hope that I can take her far to land somewhere far away from the reach of Castle Ravenloft. And as he says that, lightning cracks in the background, illuminating the Castle Ravenloft in the back. I've heard of places that might be out of reach. A town of Locky. I hear they're very well fortified. But I don't know. I can't take her alone. The road is not safe.
This sounds like a little bit more than a favor, friend.
I will give you.
I think this is something that we have a lot of experience with: rescuing maidens, escorting people. A lot of escorting people. It's just that we're so new here, and
I will give you anything, everything.
And what is the precise definition of everything?
Everything that I have. And again, he points to the mansion. By the or at this time through the walk, you guys are at the very edge of the mansion.
I just kind of look at everyone else being like, desperate rich guy, we got this, right?
Yes. I'm gonna sigh and be like, okay, just time to start looking up sensors floating disk.
So as soon as you guys kind of give like an okay look, you hear a howl. And I'd like you all to make perception checks.
Not 20. I am competent for once.
All right.
22.
I am beaten out by 1 on that.
All right. I will say, Greg, you, Jenny, and you guys can alert the others, everyone else. Look around to see that in front, surrounding the mansion, in between you and the door to the mansion, are a pack of wolves.
I see the wolves.
How many wolves?
4 wolves and a bigger wolf in the middle.
Are they slightly bigger than rats, and do they leave tracks in people's kitchens?
Stealing their tea.
They are much bigger than giant rats.
Okay.
And I would say that they would probably leave tracks in somebody's kitchen.
Okay.
Hey guys, Darzan wasn't kidding about the wolves.
Yeah, Timothy says, oh, I see you have a wolf problem. I have experience with this. I've killed 10 dire wolves.
Just what is going to kill that Warlock?
You're going to lean on that backstory.
Ismark hears this, and you see that, and you see as he pulls his sword out, he was extremely tense. But upon hearing that you've killed 10 dire wolves, he relaxes.
Okay.
Well, I guess.
If you call those rats that got into our camp that one night direwolves, sure.
Shh, my reputation. What are you doing?
We're gonna prep for battle.
Yeah, roll initiative
Or is this for another week when we actually have the Barbarian?
Yeah, and that'll be where we end.
Okay.
Surrounded by wolves.
Okay.
So for those of you tuning in at this point, please check out our Patreon page at... or this week's sponsor is...
Cats.
Cats. Because when dogs are out to get you every day, you need a good cat buddy to help put you at ease.
No.
They're slightly bigger than rats, and they can leave tracks in the kitchen.
All right. Sounds good. I'll stop broadcasting.